alcohols, phenols and ethers. Today and tomorrow. 2 days I am taking the classes for CET. Today I will solve some questions, tomorrow also solve some questions. So let us start today with alcohols, phenols and ethers. The first question, when the glycol CH2H, CH2H, glycol is heated with dicarbonic acid, the products are polyester, polyethers, polyethylene, no reaction at all. Now here you know glycol is alcohol group and dicarbonic acid is acid. So acid and alcohol react together to give you the ester group. Therefore it is goes without saying that the compound is polyester. Polyester because COH group reacts with the glycol, forming the ester groupings. Therefore it must be polyester. So you know the reactions. Next. Glycerol is not used in which of the following cases? Saving soaps, explosive making, an antifreeze for water, as an anesthetic reagent. It is not used as an anesthetic reagent. Saving soap it gives a thick lather. So to give the thick lather, the glycerol is used. Mostly you know that glycerol is also used in most of the soaps. Cosmetic soaps also it is used. So glycerol is used in saving making, soap and soap. Explosive making. So tetranitroglycerol, trinitroglycerol, CH2H, CH2H, CH2H. It is glycerol. All the OH groups are replaced by NO2, CH2ONO2, CH2ONO2, CH2ONO2. So this is highly explosive. So it is also made use in preparation of explosive making. As an antifreeze in water, especially in the radiator of the motor cars, water is used for the cooling the machine. So there it is mixed with glycerol. When you mix the glycerol, the freezing point will go down. You know, depression in freezing point, elevation in boiling point. So that principle is adopted here. So it is used as an antifreeze in water. To cool the radiator, water is circulated in the radiator, and in that water, glycerol is used, especially in cold countries. Whenever the vehicles are there, water converts into ice and it may burst the apparatus. Therefore, it is mixed with the glycerol, which is used as an antifreeze for water. It is used for the radiators. Okay. Next one. In which cases methyl tertiary butyl ether is formed? This is a reaction to form the ester. So ether is formed. CH3 tries CONA, that is sodium tertiary butoxide and CH3Cl. CH3 tries CONA plus CH2 plus Cl. This is Williamson synthesis for ether. Williamson synthesis is known is a reaction between primary alkyl halide and sodium alkoxide. Now in this case you want to get methyl tertiary butyl ether. That is tertiary butyl radical is there. Tertiary butyl. This is mixed with whether CH3Cl or C2H5 or CH3Cl, CH3Cl. Now here, this reaction CH3CONA, that is tertiary butyl sodium butoxide, mixed with C2H5Cl, and you are getting CH3 C2H5. That means you are getting methyl tertiary butyl ether. You want to get methyl tertiary butyl ether. Therefore, this should mix with CH3Cl. This is the primary alkyl halide. So this Na reacts with Cl and you will get CH3 tries O CH3. CH3 tries CO CH3. So that is how this is better. CH3CONA CH3Cl. C2H5 tries CONA CH3Cl. So the correct answer is CH3 tries CONA CH3Cl. You are getting tertiary butyl radical, methyl radical connected by means of O. Therefore, the answer is, the first answer is correct answer. Yeah, so you go for the next one. In Friedrich reaction, acylation, besides AlCl3, the other reactants are, you know what is the Friedrich reaction? Friedrich reaction is a reaction between aryl compounds with either CH3Cl or CH3COCl. If you make use of the aromatic compound with CH3Cl, the reaction is carried out in presence of AlCl3. It generates CH3 electrophile. This electrophile reacts with the aromatic hydrocarbon and therefore you are getting nonene. So here the question is which phenol? If it is with phenol, you should take the aromatic hydrocarbon in the form of phenol. Remember, the reaction is acylation. Acylation. What is the meaning of acylation? Introduction of CH3CO group. Acylation is introduction of acyl CH3CO group. So, introduce the CH3CO group, we have to take CH3COCl with the acylating agent. So, phenol is treated with acylating agent CH3COCl. So, the reaction given here is with the phenol. So, when it is phenol is treated with CH3COCl, you are getting COCS. So, this is a Friedrich reaction. Now, remember, here the COCS3 enters into the para. Because of this steric entrance, the compound is not formed. So, this is acylation. So, in Friedrich acylation, besides AlCl3 has given the catalyst there. And what are the reactants are? Yes, that means phenol and CH3COCl. And if you make use of CH3OH and CH3Cl, what do you get there? You will get the cresol. CH group enters, methylation takes place. Suppose you take N3H, hydrozoic acid. N3H is hydrozoic acid. If you make use of hydrozoic acid, what happens is you are getting there OH reacts with hydrozoic acid N3H. This is known as hydrozoic acid. Hydrozoic acid enters NH2 group in the ferro position. So you are getting the compound like this. And this reaction, yes, NH3. Now here it is treated with AlCl3. You will get amination. NH2 group is introduced. The reaction is Friedrich reaction besides AlCl3. Other reactants are. This is not the Friedrich reaction. This is not Friedrich reaction. This is called as Simon's some other reaction. The name of the reaction I have forgotten, but this is not the Friedrich reaction. Friedrich reaction, these three are the Friedrich. 1, 2, and 3. This is acylation of phenol, alkylation of phenol. This is formation of amine, and this is alkylation of benzene. So A, B, and D are the Friedrich reaction, but the reaction given here is acylation, means CH3COCl you must use. So that is regarding type 1. Okay. Next, when the glycerin is added to a liter of water, which of the following behavior is observed? The viscosity of water is lowered, the freezing point of water is lowered, the temperature of water is increased, water evaporates more easily. Water not evaporate more easily because you are using with the glycerol. Okay, and the correct answer is it is almost a repetition, a repeat question. Other day I told that it's used for the anti-freezing. So here the freezing point of the water is lowered. Depression in freezing point, elevation in boiling point. So on that principle the question is asked. Let us go for the next one. Aspirin is also known as, you know what is aspirin? Aspirin is starting from salicylic acid, COOH. What is salicylic acid? Orthohydroxybenzoic acid. orthohydroxybenzodiazepine salicylic acid. When this is treated with acetyl chloride CH3COCl or CH3CO plus acetic anhydride, the reaction takes place in this case in pencil case, and you will get aspirin, that is you are getting this compound. COH remains side acid. The acetylation takes in place of OH. O, CO, CH3. So name the compound: methyl salicylate, acetyl salicylate, acetyl salicylic acid, methyl salicylic acid. What is this? This is acetyl group. Acetyl salicylic acid. Starting from salicylic acid, you have introduced CH3CO acyl group. Therefore, this is acetyl salicylic acid is also known as aspirin, which is used as a painkiller, pain relief drug, aspirin. In which of the following compounds will be the most easily attacked by an electrophile? Very easy question. What is there? Now look, CH3, OH is there, Cl is attached to benzene, and simply benzene is there. You know all these reactions, aromatic hydrocarbons will undergo electrophilic substitution reaction. And these electrophilic substitution reaction take place wherever benzene is there, it will undergo very easily electrophilic substitution. Now here the question is, which of the following compounds will be most easily attacked by an electrophile? So when the electrophile is attacking, the benzene ring should contain more electronegative center at some of the places. You know the methyl group is orthopara-orienting. And this orthopara-orienting CH group will create negative charge on the ortho and para portion, for which effect? Haplonconjugate effect. Whereas in case of phenol, OH group, O, there are two pairs of electrons. Due to resonance at two ortho positions and one para position, electron density is increased due to resonance and positive indirect effect. Both effects are there. Therefore, in case of phenol, ortho and para positions of the OH group are more reactive. They are getting more electronegative character on that carbon. That is, at this carbon, and this carbon, and this carbon. 2, 4, 6. At these centers, electron density increases. Therefore, the electrophile will attack there very easily. Whereas in case of chlorine, what happens? There are two actions reacting. What are those? Negative I effect and negative plus R effect. Resonance effect. Since chlorine has got, this is the important point you should know. Cl has got pair of electrons, and Cl is there attached to sp2 carbon, and therefore Cl will withdraw electrons from this. At the same time, electrons also go to this. Hence, the electrons are liberated ortho and para position, and same time electrons also withdrawn from benzene ring. You know that indirect effect is stronger than resonance effect. Therefore, the net result is Cl withdraws electrons from benzene. When electrons are withdrawn from the benzene, there will be less electronegativity on benzene ring. Therefore, electrophile will not attack easily. Is that clear? Because two actions are there. One is negative indirect effect, and the other one is positive R effect. Negative indirect effect is stronger. Electron Therefore, this reaction is not possible in case of Cl. Benzene, of course, is there. The reactant you must know, phenol most easily reacts. Then comes toluene, then comes benzene, then comes chlorobenzene. Chlorobenzene is least reactive towards the electrophile because electrons are withdrawn because of the negative Cl effect and R effect. I effect is stronger, therefore the electronegativity on the benzene is decreased here. Here the question is not there. So this is more reactive than this, than this. Next one. Ethyl alcohol is industrially prepared from ethylene. Very easy question. How? It is into ethylene. Ethylene is CH2, CH2. The reaction is carried out to get the alcohol. CH3, CH2, OH. On the larger scale, this ethylene is used as a starting material on the larger scale because because ethylene is occurring very easily in petroleum industry. Ethylene is obtained or ethane is obtained in large quantity. Therefore, this can be used for the preparation of alcohol. Here you have to carry out the hydration. That is, you have to add water there. The water is not simply add there. What you have to do is, this is treated with sulfuric acid. And what happens? It will undergo nucleophilic action. And therefore you get CH3, CH2, H2O, ethyl hydrogen sulfate. So when ethylene is passed to sulfuric acid, the addition takes place, H2O acts there, H2O. So you get CH3, CH2O, and this is treated with water. When you get CH3, CH2OH plus water reacts here, CH3, CH2 and OH to give this, and H and H2O generate H2O. So sulfuric acid is regenerated, which can be easily used once again for the conversion of ethylene or ethane into ethyl alcohol. So this is the industrial method because of two reasons. One is ethane is obtained in large quantity in the petroleum industry, and the sulfuric acid that you are using is regenerated. It is regenerated here, and this regenerated sulfuric acid can be again used for preparation of alcohol. Okay, so that is the method. Fermentation doesn't take place here. No question of fermentation. Now catalytic reduction. Okay, catalytic reduction means if you add here 2H here, you will get ethane. Permanent oxidation reaction. Permanent oxidation reaction, you may take two permanent, either two conditions. What is that? Either it may react with dilute sulfuric chemical, which is called as Bayer's reagent. You know it, Bayer's reagent, your study. So ethene, when treated with dilute potassium permanganate. You have studied this somewhere in PUC first year. Bayer's reagent is called HOH plus O will give you 2OH groups. O is obtained from alcohol. Water is there. Water and oxygen obtained from alcohol forms 2OH groups. And these 2OH groups will act here. So you are getting glycol there. CH2OH, single bond CH2OH. You get glycol. This will undergo cracking and you get HCl plus HCl. PPP is of potassium permanganate, as is given in the B option. It will give you HCl and this will further give you CO2 and H2O. So no question of preparing ethyl alcohol. Therefore, this question, C is the correct answer. Absorption H2O followed by hydrolysis. Okay. Next question. Which of the following does not form phenol or phenoxide? Now tell me. Phenol, C6H5OH. Phenoxide is C6H5O. So which will not form? C6H5SO3Na is one of the method of preparation of phenol. When the benzene sulfuric acid is heated to sodium hydroxide, you will get phenol. You know it. Under the preparation you have studied. C6H5N2Cl. Treat with water or just warming with water. N2 separates, HCl separate and C6H5OH separate. This is the broad method of preparation. Under high pressure and temperature, it will form phenol. Therefore, phenol can be obtained from this and from this. C6H5OH will not form phenol or phenoxide directly. Of course, you can convert benzoic acid into phenol also, that is a different thing. But the one question is, out of these, which will not form the phenol or phenoxide? It is the benzoic acid. Do you know how to convert benzoic acid to phenol? Very simple. Benzoic acid is subjected for the decarboxylation reaction, get benzene. Benzene subjected for phosphorylation, you will get benzene sulfuric acid. Benzene sulfuric acid will give you phenol. But the question is here, out of these four compounds directly, which will not get the phenol? That's the question. Okay? Don't confuse. This also can be converted to phenol in two different steps, three different steps. But here one step. Denaturated spirit is mainly used as Denature treatment is the alcohol mixed with the methyl alcohol, is called as denature. So that is material in the preparation of oil. This is not very clear. How oil again able to do? So it is invalid. Solvent in preparing varnish. Definitely, alcohols are used as solvents. When the industrial solvent is used water. So that is used for preparation of varnish. That's colors. Okay. Drug, no. Good fair, no. So solvent in preparing varnish is the correct answer. Oxidate is a cyclic ether. Probably I told you in the classroom, I don't know. So oxidate, it is diethyl ether. Diethyl ether is different, altogether different. C2H5, O6H5. It is also called as ether or diethyl ether. Ethylene oxide. Ethylene oxide is this. CH2, single bond CH2O. That means this one. CH2, CH2O. So it is CO bond, CO bond. It's an ether. So it is for oxygen is ethylene oxide. Ethyl glycolate is an ester. Glycolic ester is also an ester. So the answer is ethylene oxide. Ethylene oxide is called as oxalate. And you know this one. CH2, 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 CH2. This is called as oxalate. And if it is, this is called oxalome. This is called as oxalate. So all these are the cyclic ethers. So this is called as oxalate. Probably you are taken the notes in the CET class. I have given you the synopsis. So oxalate is this. Next one. Distinction between primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol is done by oxidation method, Victor-Mays method, Lucas test and all these tests. Oxidation method, you know the primary alcohol or oxidation will give you aldehyde and further it will give you acid. Distinction between primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol, oxidation method, you know. Alcohol, primary alcohol will give you aldehyde, secondary alcohol will give you ketone, tertiary alcohol will give you alkene. So oxidation method is correct. Victor-Mays method is also correct. Do you know the Victor-Mays method? Alcohol is treated with AgNO3, then NaNO2, again mixed with AgNO2, you will get blue color, and this blue color on action of the cyanoate, it gives red. If it is secondary alcohol, no change in color, tertiary alcohol, no reaction. So Victor-Mays method is also used to distinguish between primary, secondary and tertiary alcohol. It will give you, Victor-Mays method will give you, the primary alcohol will give you blue color, which changes to red on treating with NaOH. Whereas secondary alcohol on treating with Mayer method, Victor method, it gives a blue color. On treating with NaOH, it will not give blue color. Okay, so that is how you can distinguish primary, secondary. And tertiary, no reaction. In tertiary alcohol, no color is developed. Victor method is not useful for that. Therefore, Victor method is also used. Lucas test. You know Lucas test. That is HCl and zinc chloride. Tertiary alcohol immediately gives you precipitate of turbidity. Secondary alcohol will give you turbidity only on some time, after lapse of some time. Primary alcohol will give you turbidity only on heating. So that is how you can use this total. Therefore, all these are applicable to this question. So the correct option is all this. It will give you Lucas test, Victor-Mays test, oxidation. Next. Carbonamide test is done by heating alcoholic KOH with what? Primary amines and chloroform. Primary amine and chloroform will react with alcoholic KOH to give you the carbonamide, which has got very bad smell. So it is a primary amine, RNS2 or PHNS2, whether it is aromatic or aliphatic. This will react with chloroform plus KOH. So the option given is carbonamide test is done by heating alcoholic KOH with what? With what means? With the trihalogen methane. Don't confuse. Trihalogen methane is either chloroform or bromoform or iodine. So it is trihalogen methane and primary amine. So it is a test used for the primary amine. Primary amine is tested by heating with trialkyl, that is chloropon or bromopon or iodophon, or in general we can say trihalogen methane. Trihalogen methane means CHX3. So CHX3 pyramidamide and alcoholic halide will give you the carbonamide test. So it is, that is the C is the correct answer. Okay? Next. Power alcohol. Power alcohol. Do you know what is power alcohol? Power alcohol is used as a power in the locomotive industry. It is used as a petrol. So power alcohol is a mixture of ethanol and hydrocarbons, petrol hydrocarbons. So it is a 80% petrol is mixed with 20% alcohol, and this mixture is called as power alcohol. This power alcohol is used as a fuel. So mixture of petrol and petrol hydrocarbons. Petrol hydrocarbons are petrol. Petrol is a mixture of hydrocarbons. So it is called as petrol hydrocarbons. So mixture of petrol hydrocarbons and ethanol. So this mixture in the proportion of what? 80% of petrol, 20% of alcohol, used as a power alcohol, which is used as a fuel for the locomotive engine. In case of petrol, yes. When alcohol reacts with concentrated sulfuric acid, the intermediate compound formed is alkoxide, RO, carbonium ion, alkyl hydrogen sulfate, none of these. Then actually, when alcohol is treated with concentrated sulfuric acid, this is protic acid. It will supply proton, and this proton takes place and shed oxygen, and you are getting protonated alcohol. You know it, under the mechanism of the reaction of study. Protonated alcohol. This protonated alcohol, water separates because the electrons, which is short here, oxygen is short of electron, and this oxygen will withdraw the electrons of the bond, and will get CH3, CH2. So this is the intermediate form there, not alkoxide or carbonamide. Okay? Yes. Next. Methyl alcohol is toxic. It is very toxic. If you take methyl alcohol internally, it will produce the blindness and ultimately death also. Methyl alcohol is toxic. The reason assigned is, what is the reason why it acts as a poison? It reacts with nitrogen and forms CN in the lungs. It stops respiratory tract. It will block the respiratory tract. Increases carbon dioxide content in the blood. It is reduction product of the formaldehyde. What happens here is, if the alcohol is, methyl alcohol is taken into the body, it will convert into formaldehyde by the enzymes present there. And this formaldehyde which is formed, it will undergo biological oxidation in the body, and it will give you formaldehyde. This formaldehyde reacts with nitrogen present in the air. When you inhale, air enters into the body, where it enters in the lungs. So it will enter into, like air enters into the lungs, and the air contains nitrogen. So this nitrogen reacts here with this formaldehyde, and you get H2O separates, and you get CN cyanide ions. So here it reacts with nitrogen and forms cyanide ions in the lungs. Exactly. And there is another reason given. Another reason given for this. That is, this aldehyde, it enters into the blood, lungs, where it combines with nitrogen forms cyanide. Or sometimes the question answer will be like this also. What is it? That this formaldehyde converts into formic acid. And this formic acid is highly poisonous in nature. Therefore, it will have a fatal effect on the body because of the formation of formic acid. Right? So either in the lungs, yes, in the lungs, cyanide is formed. Or the cyanide is formed because formaldehyde, or you can say directly the alcohol reacts with the nitrogen of the air, forming H2O and cyanide. So this cyanide is quite fatal. Probably I have told you, potassium cyanide is so poisonous, very highly poisonous. Probably I have told you. Once a time, a scientist tried to know the taste of KCM, and he took the pen and pencil, paper, etc. At the cost of his life, he introduced KCM on the tongue, and he wrote yes, and died. What is the meaning of yes? Either it is sweet or sour. So even the taste also is not known. It is very highly poisonous. So cyanide is a poison and therefore it works in cyanide. And hence it acts perfectly. Okay, that's the problem. On heating glycerol with constant sulfuric acid, the compound obtained which has a bad odor, the compound is ethyl alcohol, formic acid, acrolein, glycerol sulfate. It is acrolein, that is unsaturated aldehyde. What happens here is, you know the glycerol, CH2, OH, CH, OH, CH2, OH. Sulfuric acid we add. This sulfuric acid is highly dehydrating agent. You know, sulfuric acid dehydrating agent. It loses water. So what happens is OH, H, water. OH, H. Or you can say like this also. H, H, OH and H. Water, one molecule of water. H, H and O. EHU, EHU, EO. They are not water. So how many water molecules are reduced? 2 molecules. So 2H2. What you can see here is CH2, double bond CH, CHO, alpha, beta, unsaturated aldehyde, and this has got very bad smell, bad odor. Acrolein. Acrolein is an unsaturated aldehyde. Okay? Usually the unsaturated aldehyde is unsaturated. You know the butter. When butter is subjected for the whitening, rotten butter has got a bad smell. Why? Because in the butter also the alcohol groups are there, and that will convert into unsaturated aldehydes. So unsaturated aldehydes have got a very bad smell. So it is due to the unsaturated aldehyde, it is acrolein. So acrolein is responsible for the production of the fat oil. So we'll go for the next one. The best reagent to convert pentane, pent3 to all into O. Write on the structure. The reagent, the best reagent to convert pent3 into all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is pent to all. 3 1, 2, 3. CH3, CH, CH, H, CH3. So this is converted into what? It is converted into ketone. This is secondary alcohol. Secondary alcohol will convert into ketone. Oxidation takes place. Okay? So this will give you CH3, CH, double bond CH, CHO, that's it. CO, CH3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this can be done. chromic anhydride in GSL acetic acid, acid permanganate, acid dichromate, PCC, pyridium chlorochromate. What do you think here? Chromic anhydride will give you secondary alcohol converted to ketone. PCC is an oxidizing agent which is used for the conversion of primary alcohol. Primary alcohol will convert into aldehyde. Therefore, PCC is out of question. Alpha, that is unsaturated alcohol, can be converted to unsaturated aldehydes. You know it? PCC. Acidic dichromate. It is a strong oxidizing agent. It will cut the double bond also. And this converts into CO. So you are not getting the compound. You are not getting it. Chromic anhydride, acidic permanganate. That's a strong oxidizing agent. So these two are the strong oxidizing agent, which will not convert the secondary alcohol to the ketone. Completely compound breaks down to give you the essence containing less number of carbon atom. And this is the pyridium. PCC is a specific reagent to convert unsaturated primary alcohol to unsaturated aldehyde. So PCC is also out of question. The correct answer is one converted. Okay? Next one. Diethyl ether finds use in the medicine as an anesthetic, as an antiseptic, as a hypnotic, and a painkiller. You know, it is an anesthetic agent. It is an anesthetic agent. And now also it is not used because anesthetic produces many complicated things there in the body. But it was once upon a time was being used as an anesthetic. This chloroform, that is the diethyl ether used as an anesthetic. Chloroform is not correct. I'm sorry. Diethyl ether is used as an anesthetic. Chloroform not used nowadays as anesthetic agent. It is replaced by diethyl ether. Diethyl ether is used as anesthetic agent. Okay? Next one. Which of the following is dihydric alcohol? Bisoxanol. No, it is a beta-dihydroxylate. Catechol, orthodihydroxylate. Ethylene glycol, yes, CH2H, CH2H. Glycerol, CH2H, CH2H, CH2H. It is dihydric alcohol, it is dihydric alcohol, it is dihydric phenol, it is also dihydric phenol. So it is this one. Which of the following is dihydric alcoholic compound? So this one. An organic compound dissolved in a dibenzene evolve hydrogen on treating with sodium. Unnecessarily has made the question complicated. This alcohol which reacts with sodium. Dissolving benzene, that is not necessary. Simply to confuse you, they are stored like that. An organic compound dissolved in dry ether. Dry ether will not give hydrogen gas. So it is alcohol which reacts. So it is alcohol which releases hydrogen gas. Not this, not this, not this. Okay? Next one. A mixture of methyl vapor and air is passed over the heated copper. The products are. Now here the question is little vague. He has mentioned the air, whether it is limited quantity of air or excess quantity of air, he has not mentioned there. Anyway, when it is treated with air, mixture of methanol vapors pass through her heated copper. Alcohol, when it is passed with on the copper, dehydrogenation takes place. You have studied earlier alcohol. CS3 OH. Dehydrogenation. That means OH bond will back and alpha carbon and H bond gets. And this H2 separates. And you will get formaldehyde. The question is, air is passed, what you will get? Carbon monoxide and water vapors? No. Formic acid and water vapors may be right. Formaldehyde and water vapor may be right. So here, air is used. When you are using air, the formaldehyde obtained will also convert to formic acid. Okay? And if you use excess of air, it will give carbon monoxide and hydrogen also. Therefore, the correct answer here, passed air, it forms formic acid and water. Because when it is passed over copper, heated copper at about 575, we have studied this property, dehydrogenation of alcohol. When the alcohol vapors are passed over the copper wire, heated copper, it will undergo dehydrogenation, so H2 is separated, and you are getting HCHO. Since air is also there, air contains oxygen, and this formaldehyde converts into formic acid, HCOOH, because the aldehyde is very sensitive to oxidation reaction, therefore aldehyde converts into formic acid. And H2, since air is there, it will convert to water. Therefore, the correct answer here will be formic acid and water vapors. Okay? So far you have covered 20 questions. All these questions are very easy. No problem. Only thing is, you have just revised the entire portion that you have studied in Alphonse and also. So tomorrow, I will begin some more questions. We will answering some more questions. Okay? Thank you.